Hello, hi, it's Liz here, and today I want to do a shabby chic little journal. This was inspired by Made by Martha on YouTube, and I will put a link to her video in my description box. She made some beautiful journals and I just couldn't help myself having a go. So it's actually stenciled paint onto a piece of like upholstery fabric, or you know, the fabric you get in these sample books. If you don't have any of that, it will work on a piece of linen or calico, or any sort of maybe slightly thicker fabric that you might have. So I've just put a little bit of sari silk loose on mine as a closure, and it's just filled. There's lots of little threads and things. It's just, I just love it. And it's just filled with bits of some watercolour paper, some brown paper, some handmade paper, a mix of old and new papers, and it's just 3-stitch pamphlet stitch holding it closed. So a nice wee mix of papers, and the outside pages have a little pocket and a little pocket here, and it's stitched around and then it's stitched around, and there's the calico on the inside. So yeah, a super little fun journal just to have kicking about, to doodle in, to do some mixed media, to journal in, adds a little bit of photographs, a wee holiday journal, anything that you want to use it for. Really easy. So let's have a go. I'm going to use this stencil. Now, wait till I show you. I've got a tip here because I did this one and really too much paint. That was this stencil. And I would say that you really need to use a stencil that's not got tiny bits of plastic. It needs to be something that's got bigger bits of plastic, if you know what I mean. I'm going to use this one today, but yeah, don't use anything that's fine, because you'll just end up with something. Now, I'm not saying that at some point I might do something with it. I could put that to the inside and put that over it, or I could just add some bits to it. You know, I could put a wee square of that. I mean, it'll come in useful, but if you want the look of stenciling, then something more with more background plastic. I'm finding that quite hard to describe. Right, so we're going to stencil this. That's for my inside. And the first thing you have to decide, I suppose, is whether to use the right side, which I'm guessing is this velour side, or the wrong side to stencil on. I think I'm going to do this side because that'll add some texture, I think, to the cover. We'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure how that will be, but now I'm lining up my stencil so that I've not got half a box up here and a whole box down here. I want it to be kind of equal. So I've got 3/4. Let me tell you the measurements first. So right the way across is 25.5 centimetres, and then down the way is 14 centimetres, which is 10 inches by 5.5 inches. Right, so let's position our stencil. So I want it right at the edge down here to get the first box in, and then about an equal space between the top and the bottom. Yeah, I'm just going to, I wouldn't normally stick stencils down. Usually I just leave it in the lap of the gods, whether they move or not. But this this I want to be a wee bit more careful. So we'll just hold it in place like that. So the other trick I learned when I was doing this, you can see how the paint's on quite thick. I was determined to get a bold covering, but lesson learned, you don't need as much paint as what you think you do. So I'm going to use the black again. This is just a cheap black acrylic. Ooh. And it was nearly all over the place. It was nearly a spray paint. Okay. And so not a huge amount. And so usually in stenciling, I would say you do a kind of tapping thing, but on this fabric I would say that you just sort of need to paint it on. Stabbing doesn't work. That sounds bad. Stabbing's never good. Don't stab anybody, don't stab anything. And like I say, it doesn't, you might think, oh, I've still got fabric showing through, but that's okay because you'll end up with too much paint on it if and plus it's just to add a little bit of pattern. It's not to, it's like if some bits are darker than others, then that's fine. Yeah. So anyway, we just continue on like this in the hope that the stencil doesn't move, and you don't want to do stencil through that little hole, although it doesn't matter if you do. I don't know the make of this stencil. I keep all my stencils in a separate little wallet, and I don't keep the original packaging a lot of the time. And I had a look and I don't have the packaging for this. Right, I think that's done. So we will carefully, and I thought I would manage without getting it all over me, but that's not the case. Not too bad. Right. And the big reveal, yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll just do this side now. And we will try and line it up, although it doesn't really matter. You just don't want a huge space down there. You want to just try and get some, I think about there will do it. Yeah, I saw this, I was watching when I'm doing my crafty business at my desk. I like to watch, I think probably we all do, we like to watch everyone's videos, and of course I've got my list that I watch every day, and then I try to find some new ones. And you know, if something catches your eye on any of the Facebook groups, you go into some links and you think, yeah, they're doing something that I would like to try. And I've been following Made by Martha for a while, and the name always sticks in my head because Martha is my middle name. Martha was my grandmother's name on my dad's side, Martha, and so it always sticks in my mind that yeah, she's made by Martha. Right, I think that's us. There we are. We'll just put that in a safe place over there. Over there. Right, so now we have to wait until that dries, but in true Blue Peter fashion, let me just put the paint over there. In true Blue Peter fashion, I have this one, which is on different, it doesn't have the veloury bit, which I think has turned out quite nice actually. It's amazing how quickly the paint dries. But yeah, I quite like that. So I didn't have that. This is done in a slightly different fabric, but you can see how that turns out. And yeah, so let's set this aside. There we are. And so for the next stage, all you have to do is get your piece of Calico. I don't know, is this Calico or is it linen? I never know the names of things. I think it's Calico. So I just tear it apart so that I've got all these nice threads. So I made mine just slightly bigger so that I had a nice fluffy edge, because the Calico does the fluffy edge better than the upholstery fabric. You get nice little fringes and nice little threads. So all I did was I put some glue, some fabric glue. I used this one, which I got really cheap, and it seems to be doing okay. I got it in Hobbycraft, Trimmett's fabric glue. I quite like it because you just sit that somewhere and then simple things. So this gets glued on to your decorated stenciled piece, and then once the glue's a bit dry, I just stitched round the edge. And yeah, I'm super pleased with how it's turned out. Then I just put together a little signature. So there is this from a book, from that nice book that I always use. It's just here, etc. £2 I got. Now I know somebody left me a comment saying it was, oh I don't know, something like, now would it be $50, $30? I don't know. Oh, I would never have paid that for it, but I was so happy I found it in the charity shop. Then this is from an old record of the weather in 19 whenever it was. I don't know, it's old anyway. A piece of mixed media, a little patterned piece, some handmade paper, some craft paper, a little bit of this kind of paper. Yeah, there it's there, 1880. The weather on Tuesday the 11th of May 1880. Now I'm not sure, it is old, but I don't know that it's like a kind of copy that's old. It's part of a big book, I don't know. Anyway, that's new, that's just writing paper. This I think is upside down. Let's put the birds the right way up. There we are. And then just a piece of this kind of soft paper in the centre. So we've put our signature together. Let's count the pages. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages. So what I want to do is take it to the sewing machine, or you can just glue these pockets closed. I'm just going to give it a stitch round, and yeah, and then we will sew in our signatures in, and find a nice piece of sari ribbon, and yeah. Anyway, I'm off to sew this bit, and I'll be back. Okay, so that's been stitched around, so that's the pocket closed, and yeah, so let's place our signatures how we would want them to be, and I think they're all pretty much kind of, you know, in the centre, but we'll just double check that everything's the right way around, and just line them up a little bit better. Because this is shabby chic, I am not going to be measuring. I am simply going to go for it, as they say. Right, and this, which is the front and which is the back, I think it's all much of a muchness. Go plump for that way. Right, so a hole in the middle. Let's get our thread ready first. I'm jumping the gun here. So this is wax thread. 1, 2, 3, should be plenty. And I've got super long needles here. Just let's use the little one. A bit of a tail, and that's us. Right, I'm not even going to clip them in place. I'm just going to go for the centre. Mind your fingers. Right, and through the centre. Leave a bit of a tail. And then we're going to go down or up to about there, about halfway I would have said, between there and there. Right, and so we want to go back in through there. Are you with me? Yes. For a terrible second there that I hadn't pressed the button again. So back through that hole, and then we are going to the top, but I like to turn it. I don't know, I just find it easier to always do the bottom hole. And again, about, there we are. Now I can tell right away that these aren't terribly straight on the outside there, but this is a quick, easy journal. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I've gone a little bit off. Not to worry. Now, this last hole is the hole that I find super tricky. Going back through the middle is never easy. And if anybody has any secrets, I tend to just do them sometimes one at a time, because trying to get them through is not the easiest thing in the world, I don't think. So let's just be patient and do one at a time. There we are. Now we want one thread on either side, and I've actually sewn through the thread, but we can undo that. There we are. And we'll just pull that through that side. There. Yeah, I've gone a bit off, but we can sort that. Let's not panic. Let's just hide our mistakes. So a little double knot. There we are. So one here squinty and one there, but from the inside you wouldn't know, so I'm okay with that. But what you could do, if you were fussed by it, I mean, like I say, it's a quick, easy, shabby chic throw about journal, little arty journal. Doesn't matter that that thread there is, you probably wouldn't even have noticed unless I had pointed it out. But what you could do is add a little, and that's quite nice actually. I am thinking I might just do that. Let's maybe, now is that maybe a wee bit too broad? Maybe want it about there. And all these threads are great, love them. Right, well, maybe not quite as much as that. Right, and we'll just glue that on. That is actually quite nice. The only thing about it is you need 2 hands to squeeze the bottle. It's really sturdy. Oh, that's Millie coughing. And we just rub our fingers together, it disappears. There we are. Went quiet there, I was concentrating. Yeah. So, I need to find a nice piece of something for round, and let's see how this one's getting on. Yeah, it actually dries really quick. So next step, you can see the difference in the colour, and that feels nice. A little bit of velour there. So our next step with that would be to put that on the inside. Now, oh, I have another thing to tell you. Which one was it? Which one was it? Was it? One has got a piece of brown paper. It was this one. So it's slightly thicker because I put a piece of brown paper and then I changed my mind and I just stuck the calico over the brown paper. So there is brown, a sheet of brown wrapping paper in between there. It's there, in between there. But then I made this one and I realised that just the two sheets I thought were quite nice. Just the two sheets of fabric gives it a kind of more floppy. But if you want it to be a little bit stiffer, then brown paper in between. Yeah. And that one I will finish at my leisure. And yeah, so let me go and find a nice piece of ribbon for this one. Okay, I thought this nice kind of jade green would be nice. It's got a little leaf pattern on it, so we'll give there's bits of thread everywhere. We'll just wrap it round. You could stitch it in before, you know, if you wanted a permanent one, or you could just stitch it just there. Might be quite nice, just stitched on. But anyway, we will just do a wrap around. I think they are super cute, shabby chic little journals. I'm really pleased. You know, when I saw the video, I thought, I wonder how acrylic paint, is it going to crack? Is it going to soak through? Is it going to do strange things to fabric? But nope, it just absolutely, I just love it. I just think it's great. So yeah. So thanks for joining me today. If you've liked the video, a thumbs up would be great. And please check out Made by Martha and see the gorgeous journals that she made. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye. Thumbs up. Bye.